So CHACHIPEN is an important project because we really dig into those historical roots of anti-Gypsyism and the way the Roma past and Roma history has been forgotten throughout within the mainstream history, and lessons therefore haven't been learned. And with our project we are actually looking into what happened in the dark chapters of the history of Roma people in the past, and we go as far as to Middle Ages and even to the times when Roma arrived, and we investigate how this past of Roma slavery, Roma Holocaust, forced sterilizations and other inhuman and degrading treatment episodes hasn't been addressed and truly acknowledged. And therefore with CHACHIPEN project we look into Spain, Romania, where we do in-depth investigations. And we also try to learn from Sweden and Germany, where this sort of recognition and memorialization kind of started with the episodes of investigating of the White Book in Sweden, of trying to investigate what happened with the Swedish Roma, and also in Germany, where new anti-Zyganism independent commission has been created. So we see in those countries where the recognition started, we can see sort of improvements in the public debate. However, when they do not afford to the fully fledged apology and fully fledged transition, they can easily slide down, and there can be backlashes, as we witnessed today in Sweden, for instance. And therefore this work really needs to continue and to build on the past experiences, and CHACHIPEN is contributing at the moment with the in-depth research in Romania and Spain, and we hope that we can bring up those voices of Romani victims, of survivors, and we can rebuild this narrative where there would be more trust between Roma and non-Roma. So the fight against institutionally rooted anti-Gypsyism is so crucial for Roma equality today, because we saw how for long there has been a pervasive misconception that we can merely assume that Roma are just socioeconomically excluded, and once we have some inclusion policies in the area of health, employment, education, and elsewhere, we will get Roma to be treated equally. However, we see that EU Roma strategy for integration has achieved somewhat, however, not expected results. And therefore we need to keep to understand that the root causes are the anti-Gypsyism, and that it's so deeply ingrained in societies and also in the state institutions, into police, into the ways, for instance, the racial profiling is still a reality of nowadays, that violence against Roma and hate speech goes so often unchallenged, and judiciaries, prosecutors are also somehow affected by this widespread anti-Gypsyism. Therefore, in our research at CEPS, we also heard that probably anti-Gypsyism is the last acceptable form of racism that has not yet been acknowledged by the state institutions. And I think by trying to understand that this sort of racism is so deeply ingrained and historical, we can start to reconstruct those institutions, that they would be also reintegrated into the norms and values of equality, non-discrimination and justice.